Do you think that once you began to recognize that injustice, that humiliation, you began to sort of piece together a more three-dimensional picture of black South Africans, as opposed to the many South Africans who either supported or ignored apartheid, who never really let black people come into focus as real people to them?
Yes, but I think you have to look at the circumstances. It was unthinkable for me to meet or know black people who would share my interests, with whom, in other words, there could be some sort of natural rapport and meeting. It was always on the servant-master basis, and even if you were the child of the master and the mistress, you still had this particular position. But being troubled about it, and beginning, great reader as I always was, beginning to find out that there was something called racism that existed in the world, and I was living in it, I was part of it. And then when I was older and went very briefly took the train every day and went to the university, and there for the first time I met, even then there were one or two, there were a few young blacks. Remember, the university, of course, was whites only, but there were certain courses that were not available in the black universities, and then as a concession at graduate level, postgraduate level, a few blacks would come in. And so I met one or two black people with whom I had far more in common than I had with the young whites that I knew in the town. I was not interested, I wasn't sporty, or many of the things that they did were of not particular interest to me. And here were young people, black, who were trying to write, who were beginning to write. So we had this enormous, not just ambition, we had this enormous approach to life and the mystery of life and social questions in our own lives. And then I began, at that age, to make black friends. And then as I myself became a young published writer, then I moved into a different circle, which was, again, journalists, actors, people who, in the arts, who normally indeed don't follow the rules, the conservative rules, and where the feeling about the incredible distortions of racism, not only the oppression of blacks, but the distortions in your personality, in your mind as a white, these became very much part of my life, and indeed started my way to freedom from racism, from racist ideas that I'd been inculcated at school, at home, everywhere since childhood.